Welcome in today's webinar. We're just going to wait a little bit until everyone is signed in and ready. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot that in the chat or in the Q&A section as well. And we are going to be having live customer support agents to answer your questions. So if you have anything, feel free, or just to drop a hello, share, where you're logging in from in the chat. So again, just going to wait for a little bit more until everyone is signed in. Okay, I see a lot of you coming in from New Zealand, Canada, all over the place, New York. Hello, everyone. Let me turn my camera on as well in case you guys can see, in case you guys want to see me here. Okay, so let's just wait for a tap more. Hello from Mexico, Daniel is saying. Alexandria, Michigan, all over the place. Okay, now, before we start, let me say that this is going to be recorded and we are going to send out a recording of the live alongside with the deck slide. So if you guys are wondering, because this is usually one of the most popular questions, keep in mind that, yes, we are going to share this. So you should get it in the next days in your inbox. So yeah, we're going to wait just for a tap more. Okay, so I think we are ready to start. Hello, everyone, and welcome on today's live event. So this is going to be about training businesses, the training business playbook. So how you can automate and scale your certification programs, and essentially how you can learn to do that successfully without having to, use any fragmented systems here and there, or just have to do mundane, manual tasks. So this is all about, this is what this live event is going to be all about. So let me head over to the next slide. So right here, just a little bit on the agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about who we are, who is LearnWorlds. Then we're going to see a little bit about the current state of the training business landscape. We're going to tackle some key challenges, and we're going to see a demonstration on the LearnWorlds platform as well, along with some solutions and tools that you can use. And then, of course, we have our two guests who are going to share their real business stories. So that part is going to be very exciting. Now, a few things about who we are, who is LearnWorlds. So LearnWorlds is a powerful all-in-one learning management system built for training businesses that are looking to streamline and automate their operations, while of course still delivering professional, engaging, and scalable learning experiences. A few things about our customers. You see that we have around 15,000 customers all over across 150 countries, and we are reaching more than 20 million learners, so students that are actually going through courses in LearnWorlds. As you can see, we are decorated with some awards and also some of, some very popular brands and companies out there actually trust LearnWorlds with their training certifications or with her academies. So let me move over to the next one, and I think it's time to meet our speakers. You see that the first one is me. So hello, I am Elisa Tani. I am a resident learning designer here at LearnWorlds. My part is mostly going to be about demonstrating some of the features and just visualizing some of the solutions in LearnWorlds. Then we have Leah Pro-Velengiu. So Leah is dedicated into helping training providers maximize their business potential. She has extensive experience in customer success and in the e-learning solutions. She has guided countless businesses so far in automating their operations, enhancing learner engagement, and scaling their own certification programs. Right next to Leah, we have Dr. Shelly Newstead. So Dr. Shelly is the world's only doctor of playwork. And she's the creator of PARS model, which essentially empowers adults to help children enjoy their free time from their own perspective. She's also a managing director of Common Threads Playwork, and which is a social enterprise that develops playwork theory and practices internationally. So welcome, Dr. Shelly. And of course, last but not least, we have Ian Gale. So Ian is the co-founder and co-director of 3D Sleep and Sleepwise Clinic. And over there, he oversees operations, marketing, and digital education. So Ian has over 25 years of experience in running businesses, and he's passionate about streamlining workflows and leveraging technology to enhance efficiency. So as you can see, our speakers here bring a wealth of experience, both Leah, Dr. Shelly, and Ian, and all of that in automating training businesses. And they'll be sharing practical strategies and hands-on insights on how to do that. So let me move over to the next part. So right here, let's discuss a little bit about the current state of the certification training landscape. So what is going on out there? We'll see some numbers over here. So you'll see that the global e-learning market was valued at approximately 399 billion in 2022 and is projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 14% between 2023 and 2020 and 2032. Now, amongst the driving factors over here is that businesses upgrade their training programs and that LMSs are also switching to cloud-based systems. So all of this to say that this is actually a landscape. This is somewhere where it is actually worth investing and creating your certification program, because we see that there is actual, money to be made and there is a growth rate expected. Now, a few numbers about LearnWorlds here and our customers. So among LearnWorlds customers, 30% of those people operate in the B2B space, meaning business to businesses, and they offer certifications and training solutions to business and organizations, while the other 70% cater directly to customers, selling courses and certifications to individual learners this time that seek professional development and upskilling. So on average, a LearnWorlds customer generates about 10K in monthly revenue. Again, this of course varies per business. And let's talk a little bit about some operation costs in general. So operation costs for an online course business, of course, can vary significantly. On average, businesses in the sector allocate between 5 to 15% of their total revenue to various expenses, right? That could include, fees for the platform that you will choose, right? Hosting fees or content creation, marketing, of course, and customer support as well, right? So with specific spending, it can vary based again on the scale of the business, on the scope, on the industry, and so on, right? But the annual software and tools expenses, on average, these businesses spend around 1,200 to 12,000 annually on software tools, depending again on their specific needs and their scale of their operation. So it's always good just to know what's happening in the landscape over here and what the expenses are. Okay, let me move over to the next slide over here. So next up, I'm going to introduce Leah again. So Leah, welcome to the webinar. And she's going to talk a little bit more about what challenges and opportunities certification training programs usually face. So Leah, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Elisa. I'm Leah, and I will start by saying that I personally interact on a daily basis with many established training providers. So before we dive into the tools and strategies to scale your certification business, let's take a moment to look at the big picture. As Elisa said, over 15,000 businesses using LearnWorlds and more than a decade of industry experience we've identified key challenges and opportunities that training providers face today. First, let's discuss the challenges in certification training. As Elisa said, fragmented systems and manual processes. Many businesses still rely on multiple disconnected tools for payments, enrollments, assessments, and communication. This leads to inefficiencies, lost time, and increased admin work. Then our customers are called to manage diverse learner audiences. Training businesses today cater to both B2B and B2C audiences, handling learners from different industries, skill levels, and even countries. Keeping everything organized while ensuring a personalized experience can be overwhelming. Scaling operations while delivering a seamless experience. Growth is exciting, but with more learners and a bigger team comes more complexity. Scaling without the right tools can lead to bottlenecks, poor learner engagement, and administrative pressure that slows everything down. As you probably understand, there are also opportunities with automation. You can increase efficiency. By automating repetitive tasks, your training business can save time and reduce errors, allowing your teams to focus on what truly matters, delivering high quality content. You can improve engagement. Keeping learners engaged is essential for program success. Personalized learning paths, automated reminders, and interactive features can boost learner retention and satisfaction. You can grow without limits. With the right systems in place, you can expand into new markets, new revenue streams, and global audiences without increasing complexity. These challenges are real, but so are the solutions. And that's exactly what we will be focusing on next. How to turn these opportunities into reality with the right tools and strategies.
Sorry,
Elisa.
let me take over to the next slide.
Yes, my opportunities. So we've seen the main challenges, and now it's time to switch focus and look at the opportunities in the certification business. Orchestrating learning journeys. Managing journeys manually can be overwhelming, but automation can simplify the process significantly. By automating tasks like payments, enrollment, and content delivery, you can create a seamless experience from start to finish. This not only saves time, but also reduces the risk of human errors, leading eventually to higher learner satisfaction, but also helps you look more professional. With personalized learning paths, automated onboarding emails, customized course flows, learners can easily navigate their journey, allowing your administrative teams to focus on more strategic tasks. Then optimizing communications. Clear, consistent communication is essential for keeping learners engaged. By automating...
sorry,
yes,
you can
please.
just speak up a little bit, because they're saying they cannot hear you very well in the chat.
Okay, I will try to speak up. By automating email sequences, push notifications, and milestone messages, you can ensure that learners receive timely updates throughout their courses. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, it's a little bit better now. Thank you.
Okay. I was telling you about automation that allows you to segment your audience. Practically, you can send targeted messages to different groups of learners based on their skill level, course progress, or specific needs targeted messages depending on their needs or weaknesses. This personalizes the communication experience, increasing the relevance and the effectiveness of your messages. Of course, you can also automate the certification process. The certification process often involves a lot of manual work, from issuing certificates to tracking learner progress. Automating these tasks can eliminate errors, save you time, and ensure that your certifications are always accurate and timely. With digital credentialing solutions like Accredible or Credly, you can provide learners with instantly verifiable certificates, which not only enhance the learner's experience, but also boost the credibility of your program. Automation keeps learners engaged by giving them real-time feedback and progress updates. The end result keeps them motivated. Growing internationally, expanding to new markets is a huge growth opportunity for certification businesses, but it comes with challenges. Managing multiple languages, currencies, and compliance requirements can quickly become overwhelming. Fortunately, automation can make this transition much smoother. With the right tools, you can easily scale to international markets by offering localized payments, tax compliance, and multilingual content, all without adding extra administrative work. Automation helps you adapt to global training needs, ensuring that your business is well equipped to handle cultural differences and regulating requirements as you're growing. Streamlining collaboration. Certification programs often involve multiple stakeholders, including instructors, assessors, admin teams, sometimes even external partners. Managing workflows and communication manually will slow down operations. By introducing role-based access and automated workflows, you can streamline the collaboration process and reduce miscommunication. Whether your team is working remotely or in different locations, automation helps you get tasks assigned properly and everything runs smoothly. Opening up new audiences. Certification businesses can expand their revenue stream by adopting both B2C and B2B models. With subscription-based learning to bulk B2B enrollments, you can efficiently serve both individual learners and corporate customers. Automation makes managing large groups of learners easier by using bulk enrollments, seat management, user groups. This allows you to manage your programs without extra manual work. This flexibility opens up new revenue opportunities and helps you reach a broader audience. Elisa, we can move on.
Mhm.
Okay, now that we have discussed the enormous opportunities that automation brings to your business and certification programs, I think it is time to delve into the specific tools that can help you create smooth and engaging learning journeys from enrollment to course completion. Creating a consistent and personalized learning journey is crucial, especially when we're talking about tens, hundreds of learners. Automation not only reduces administrative tasks, but also enhances the learner's experience, leading to higher satisfaction and also retention rates. And it is essential to build a seamless flow from the very beginning. Understanding these tools in theory is the first step. Now to see how they function in practice, I will let Eliza provide a live demo. Eliza?
Yeah. Thank you, Leah, sorry for that. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the tools that we can use just to make the learner's journey a lot easier, right? So we have three main pillars over here. The easy start, where you want to set up a smooth and intuitive beginning for every learner. Then we have the onboarding phase, where we want to ensure that they navigate effectively throughout the courses and right after they log in. And then, of course, we still want to keep them interactive and engaging, right? So we want to keep them motivated and being active throughout the course. So you'll see that in the easy start right here, we have the course catalog part. And actually, let me switch my screen a little bit so I can show you over here. Hold on. Exactly what I mean. So we have the first pillar over there was the course catalog. So here, LearnWorlds provides a well-structured course catalog that helps the users to quickly, identify which training program they want to get, which certificate they want to get, right? This is, of course, customizable, allowing you as an admin to select what courses to highlight or not, right? And then we have also a variety of, we also have a course page, like each course can have its own dedicated page for you to market it, and you can include information about what the course is going to offer, who the author is, and so on. Right after that, we have the payment option flows and the enrollment. So you'll notice that LearnWorlds has a variety of ways that users can purchase their product. So that could be a pay once and have access. It could be via payment plans. It could be via bundles. It could be via subscriptions, right? So the list goes on and on in terms of how, what payment options they have. And of course, as an admin, you get to decide how they'll be able to pay. Do they need to create an account first, or the navigation into the payment page, or can they do it all at once? Side note, of course, we kind of prefer the second one because any friction that we can eliminate to checkout, we're definitely willing to do that. So as an admin, you have an option there. But it doesn't stop there. You also have options in terms of the payment gateway. And how they're going to pay. You can use Stripe, that unlocks a ton of more options like local payment gateways or Apple Pay, Google Pay, Klarna, and so on. And of course, PayPal and Shopify. So definitely these are options when it comes to paying. Let me see what else I have here. Okay, so this is for the next pillar. So the next pillar, if you remember, was the onboarding one. So here we care about their onboarding process. So here you see an after login page. So once the learner signs in, they land into this page. This is customized per learner, and so this gives them immediate access to the courses that they are currently signed in. So you'll see I have a nice little progress over here. I can see how far along I am into this page, right? And I can see, and get immediate access, and I'm just focused on the courses and the certification programs that I have on. All right, and then let's move over to engagement, which is something last I didn't mention. The system also, of course, allows you to customize the after login page even further by, again, like I said, selecting what is going to be, what page is going to be your after login page, and you can even do that per user that I mentioned. So you can use tags to show each user a completely different after login page based on who they are, essentially. So keep that in mind. That is an option over there as well. All right, so the next pillar was the engagement one. So here is where you want to keep them active and engaged. And one way to do that would be through welcoming material. So you could either send them a warm email just to kind of welcome them into the academy or to your program, or you can even have content, just welcoming content. It could be a video, I don't know, it could be perhaps an ebook, just kind of welcoming and outlining, the content for them so that, they easily step into your training program. Another option that LearnWorlds offers is that we have self-paced and live content that is supported by the platform. So users can either self-pace throughout the course, they can go on their own time and check out the activities, or you could also host live sessions, and you see that we support a native integration with Zoom, WebEx, Microsoft Teams, and that means that you can actually have it synchronous as well, where perhaps they have asynchronous data and content to cover, but if you want to do it synchronous, you can do it with live sessions, which are supported. And something final when it comes to engagement is also the community engagement. So well, numbers say that engaged learners are essentially more likely to complete their certification, so we definitely want that. And with LearnWorlds, you see that we have a built-in social community tool that your users can, use to encourage discussions or peer support, networking, making learning just a little bit more interactive for them. Okay, I'm going to take you back over here and take this down. I'm going to take you back over here and let's go over to the next one to cover tools over here. So Leah, tell us a bit more about this, and then I'll show you guys again on the platform.
Exactly. We will be discussing communication, because clear and timely communication is key, not just for attracting new customers, but also for keeping them engaged throughout their certification program and beyond. From my experience with our customers all these years, having the right tools makes all the difference. It allows you to stay connected with your audience at the right time in a personalized but also automated way. Practically, next we will focus on two elements: timely communication and email campaigns. This way we ensure that learners receive important updates and reminders when they need them. Elisa, please proceed with the demo.
Okay, so like we mentioned here, tools for new audiences. We have B2C, again, if you're selling and targeting customers directly, or B2B. So let me, again, jump right in here. Let me find it. I think it was here. 1 second. Okay, here. So the first thing to do is with mass emails. That was the first one on our list. So what is this? So if you want to reach them, to reach a specific user group or specific users, you can do that with mass email. So that is one of the ways for the communication. Another one is the automations. So LearnWorlds has an automations tool, and that is going to allow you to just create event-triggered actions. And you'll see that, for instance, when a user signs up, then you can have an action happen, like enroll them in a course. And as you can imagine, this is great for managing just some administrative load and tasks that you would otherwise have to do manually. So the list over here with automations goes on and on. Next up on the list is push notifications. Now, of course, this is exclusive to those schools that have opted to have the mobile app. But if you do, you can have a push notification and just directly communicate with users on their phone. And I think this is the most preferred way as well, especially today. And same with mass emails. And here you will see that notifications, let me just add a random name over here, just so that I can show you that essentially you can select the exact recipient. So you can segment the users. Again, same goes with emails and notifications, and you can segment the users that actually are going to receive this notification, right? Same for email and same for push notifications. So this is if you're targeting B2C, right? If you're targeting customers directly. But if you want to go more for like a B2B, sorry, then you could go for email campaigns and using tags. So let's go ahead with tags. So what are tags? So tags are essentially just little words you can assign to your users, and it's going to help you group your learners or your leads based on actions and interests, right? So what can you do with these tags? Well, you can use them and you can feed them to your email marketing tools, and especially with leads or even new users in the platform, you can synchronize those users, those leads, and then with the help of the tags, you can have them and add them into specific email lists that you can have, and then nurture them and communicate with them from there. So you'll see we have an extensive integration with some of the most popular email marketing tools out there, so that you can communicate with them from there. So some include MailChimp, ActiveCampaign. You'll see the list over here goes on and on. Okay, so let's go back and let's take it over to Leah for the next part.
Yes. One of the biggest takeaways from working with training providers over the years is that growth isn't just about selling more courses. It's about finding the right business models to expand your reach. Many of the certification businesses started out selling courses to individuals. But as they grew, they realized that they could do so much more. Apart from selling directly to learners, training providers can successfully scale by introducing subscription models, offering ongoing learning experiences, and expanding into the B2B space by working with corporate customers. Selling to businesses does not just mean offering bulk enrollments. It's about creating tailored learning experiences that meet their needs, the customer requirements. Having the right setup is the key, from creating a branded learning environment for each corporate customer to simplifying team management for organizations. So let's take a look at the tools that can help you open new audiences and create sustainable growth, whether that's through subscriptions, corporate training, or more flexible enrollment options. Elisa, back to you.
Yeah, thank you. And I just realized I was showing the wrong slide, so apologies for that. A little recap here. So these are communication tools that you can use for essentially for users and clients that you already have, whereas this tool set is going to help you nurture leads and just grow your audience even further by running email campaigns. So now here, like Leah mentioned over here for B2C models and for B2B, I think I'm going to skip showing just to be mindful of time. So the model, the first one over here is subscriptions. And I think we saw that a little bit earlier that we offer that. And subscriptions, again, can offer your learners continuous access to your content throughout recurring payments. And at the same time, of course, ensuring a steady revenue for you and your business, right? Another option is the bundles that you see here. So with multi-course bundles, offer learners a clear learning path, save them money because usually they are discounted, and of course increase sales by selling a full program instead of one course. So bundles can also, of course, and courses can include certifications, right? At the end of the course or after completing the course or an exam, you can offer a certification to the user. Now, if you're addressing more B2B clients, then we have a feature that is called the Seats offering. So what is this? With Seats, what you can do is that you essentially can sell course access in bulk to businesses, allowing them to assign training to their employees while you maintain still the full control over the content and the access, right? Next on the list, you'll see user groups. And user groups essentially allow you to organize your learners into essentially customer personas, right? Into specific cohorts, thus making it easier for you to deliver targeted content and manage the enrollments a lot easier. Now, Leah also mentioned bulk actions. So with bulk actions, what you can do is that you can enroll users at the same time, for instance, or you can add them into the platform at the same time. You can unenroll them. You can add them to a course. You can apply changes, and that's going to help you again streamline operations and just do the manual tasks a lot easier. So some of the things over here. Okay, I think now we are ready to welcome our next guest. So Ian, hello. Let us know if you can hear us.
I can. Thanks, Eliza.
Yes. Hello, Ian. So we introduced you in the beginning. If you wish, tell us a little bit more about you and your learning business.
Absolutely. So my business partners and I started a clinic back in 2004, and that was B2C, and we were effectively treating patients. My business partner's a dentist, and we're treating patients with oral appliances, which are for snoring and sleep apnea. And the institute came about maybe in around 2010. We've effectively got one B2C business and we've got 3 B2B businesses. So we recognized that by treating patients, there was actually a need for this field for dentists around Australia, based in Australia, to be able to offer that to their own patients. And so we created our own lab, which is now called 3D Sleep. It had a different name back then. And effectively, as everyone would know, growing a business, you keep pivoting and moving. So from that, we recognize that in order for dentists to be able to make the appliances, they need to understand the field. So effectively now 3D Sleep has a laboratory, a diagnostics business, and an institute. And so the institute is the one that we use for the training. And probably 12 years ago, we were doing live presentations, probably a bit before we should have been, and live chats.
You were before your time.
Bit before, yeah, just hoping you'd get it wouldn't drop out. And effectively, I think for myself, my business partners are the experts. I'm working in the background. We've developed the businesses. And for us, and I imagine there'd be challenges for other people out there that I can speak to here, it's a matter of just trial and error. You're trialing different products. I think I would say that WordPress and a whole bunch of plugins was 2015 and 2016, when you're trying to run other businesses and you're also putting together an online training, that was probably what you had available to you. And back then I was trying Thinkific. I've worked with Teachable. I've worked with Kajabi, just trying different platforms and different things to see what works. We run the programs ourselves, are very much B2B to dentists in Australia who sign up for a specific program. So it's a very straightforward process. They'll enroll and they'll have, for example, a live webinar, they'll have recorded content, and they'll have a certification process. So for me, I would say the challenges that I've found have been at each step is just putting together something that we're a lean operation. So we've got the other businesses to focus on. And it was just about coming up with something that would allow us to be able to deliver the content without having to manage it too much in the background. And of course, that's great in principle, but in practice, what I've found over time was you start with one product and you think it's going to answer all your questions, but you find that, for example, it's especially 5 or 6 years ago, having tax compliance or GST in Australia, a program may not have that. And so, for example, what I would find is that I was actually adding plugins and adding complexity and just finding.
So essentially, the known pain points that most people have in your position, that you have to manage a lot of different tools to get the job done, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, look, that was the thing, and I think people would recognize this. I think you find a product and you find that it might have a front end, might be great, but then the way that the structure in the back end is working may not be ideal. For me, a lot of the pain points were around Stripe's always been something I've used throughout, which works, but being able to issue certification, being able to manage the learners on the platform. I think one of the main issues I found, for example, using a program like WordPress, is if I didn't have the time or the dedication. And what started out, for example, during COVID, when we went into lockdown, we focused on the education and we put together the program, and it all worked really well. But over time, maybe the need to update the theme would affect other plugins. It might affect the payment gateway. And it got to a point where it was a case of, well, we either need to double down with developers or we need to look at other options. And that's we've gotten to.
What did you do? How did you overcome all of the pain points and what you mentioned?
We're fortunate in a way that for some people, it may be that they're taking enrollments every day, but we're running programs where we'll set a program start date, end date, and then we'll be able to turn it on and off, given the fact that it's not the core business. But we would keep the business. I kept the business running there, and I just went back in the last 12 months and I tested Kajabi again. And I tested a few of the other products. I'm not sure if you want me to name any of these, but and look, I'd get to a certain point where I was very happy, and then it would just reach a point where I'd think, no, this is not going to work. And again, that was probably in relation to the tax and needing to use third party. I think for me, if anyone's starting out, one of the difficult things is you don't know the complexity, or you don't know the issues that are going to occur. So it's a lot of trial and error. And I think I got to a point where this is one of 4 businesses, and we need to keep it lean. It's not like we're wanting to hire people to be managing it every day. And I just wanted to come up with a solution that allowed me to not have to worry about it. A bit like using an Apple compared to using an Android, I would say. And I'd looked at LearnWorlds a few years ago, but things were running smoothly at the time. And I just thought, months ago, I thought, look, I need to look at this again. And I was impressed with the flexibility in building out the pages on the front end. The other thing I found on some of the programs is being able to have a menu that can function on the front end, but then be able to separate it in the back end didn't flow as easily as I'd like. And again, this is it ticks a lot of boxes for me. And for me, and I don't know if everyone's got this available, but I just decided that I needed to put my head down for a few weeks and just build out the platform. And I literally just sat there and went through it. And I was impressed with how I was able to just be able to go through and build it out based on probably what I'd done before, but it was very intuitive. And so that would have been 6 months ago, September, October last year. And then migrated everyone across who was existing on the platform, and probably close to 1,000 people in the system, and it's been running smoothly, and we're now looking at new programs. So some of the things you're talking about today, I'm also interested in the automations and processes myself. But it's more about the journey and how to get there. I think if you're a clinician and if you're a presenter, I think it's really important to surround yourself with people who've got the time to be able to put into this, even if it's just a colleague, someone who can know how this operates. Because once you start to need to work on a program like WordPress, you will need developers and you'll need maintenance and other things. And it's just a matter of choosing what works.
Exactly. And not to blow our own horn, but selecting the right platform is crucial because it allows you to focus on the most important things, which is to grow the business and not actually handle just mundane, everyday admin tasks and works.
You mentioned something before, and if I was, I didn't do this in the past, I would just put the programs together, but the tagging and coming up with a unique code structure. It was something before. I think I stepped back from this before I started and thought, okay, I actually thought a bit more about how do I need to do this, because it's important to have that structure and have people registered within the certain programs in order for the certification process, in order for the other things to work. And if you start working with third-party apps, you want to have that flow work. And I think the tagging you mentioned before was key for me as well.
Yes, definitely. And in LearnWorlds, we have it almost everywhere. Okay, so wrapping this up, what advice would you give to fellow certification providers, so some people that are aspiring to create their own certification program?
I look, like I was just saying, I think you have to step back and work out if you're the one who wants to be doing it, or if you want to be focus on, if you're presenting, I would focus on the content. I would focus on potentially aspects of the marketing. For me, the running the learning management system is a job unto itself. And so I think you can do it. And there'll be people out there who are very tech savvy and who'd be thinking nothing more. They've been messing around with these for a long time. If you're not that type of person, I think still do it, but you will find, I think we're all information overload now. There's so much going on, and there'd be people coming away from this potentially thinking, oh, it's just a bit overwhelming. Well, I've found the support. I think if you do work with a program like LearnWorlds, I think the support is important. And for me, I'm on the other side of the world from you, and I find the support very helpful when I've needed to reach out. It's usually someone there not far away. So I think if you are going to do it, you want to be able to have people you can reach out to and be able to move on. But it can be overwhelming. So I think you need to just step back and be very clear on what it is your objective is. Also be very clear about your tax structure, how you can issue receipts. I mean, little things like that don't sound that much of that important, but you can spend a week just sitting there working out how to get a tax receipt and tax compliance done, and certification again, you know, issuing CPD points or whatever it is you're issuing. Those little things can cause a lot of headaches. And if you're not aware of what you need to do or how to do it, you'll end up spending a lot of time. And you get to a point where you think, I've invested too much time, I have to keep going. So I'd get a very clear guide of what is it you're trying to deliver, what is it you need to be able to have tools-wise, make sure you get your payment structures correct, and even delivering emails. Do you do it within the system, doing it without in another system? The other thing with our 4 businesses, there's 4 or 5 different data CRMs. So how do they interact? Do they need to interact? There's just keeping it simple. So I didn't really want to have to think too much about the learning management system, and that's actually what I've really enjoyed here. It's actually made it quite getting the basics right. Good.
All right, so I think we'll have to wrap up, just keeping, you know, being mindful of time. So thank you very much, Ian, for your input and giving out, you know, your story and what your team does. So thank you very much. Okay. And all right, let me jump over into our next slide. So Leah here is going to talk about tools to streamline the certification process.
Practically, I will recap what Ian described. There are many certification providers out there that still struggle with complex and time-consuming processes, from assessments to issuing certificates. Honestly, I've worked with many customers who have saved hours of manual work simply by streamlining their processes. Elisa, now I think you will show us how to automate and streamline the certification process. Thank you.
But I think I'm going to skip the platform part only because we are a little bit running behind time. Instead, let me just tell you a few things about each of these things. So over here in the assessment and exams, LearnWorlds has a great assessment builder. You can create questions like, I don't know, multiple choice, like true or false, open-ended, right? Graded or non-graded. And of course, we have the AI assistant, which is heavily infused in the assessment and exams process, just to help you either come up with questions, or when you have to grade them and offer feedback, the AI assistant is right there to help you along with it. And it helps you produce feedback that is not generic, but that is catered around the user's answer. So keep that in mind. Now, regarding certifications, of course, LearnWorlds has 2 main types of certifications that we offer, either the certificate of completion, which someone can get as soon as they finish up the whole course, or a certificate of achievement that they can get once they pass a specific achievement, a specific exam. Now, over here, we also have school emails if you want to, you know, have something happen as soon as they get their certificate, and to notify them, to reach them. And we also have a native integration with digital badges. And I think Leah mentioned that earlier, so Accreditable and Creditly. So what that means is that if you already have an account with them, you can connect that to LearnWorlds natively, and you can choose for them to issue the certificate instead of having it from the platform. Of course, this can be completely customized. You can use either the default template that we have for certificates, or you can upload, you know, and use your own. So that is absolutely something that you can do. And then, of course, you can track the learner's progress. We have course insights, like giving you statistics of what your top courses are, and based on what, you can break down into an activity level. You can, of course, generate highly customized user progress reports. You can have those scheduled so they can be, I don't know, emailed to a stakeholder or a manager. We have infused AI in insights as well, so you can talk to AI in natural language. If you, for instance, want to see the people that are in the brink of dropping out, or maybe the new people that enrolled, right? You can just talk in natural language, and AI will give you that result, we have an activity and training matrix so that you can see exactly what courses the users have, what activities they've completed, what percentage, and so on. So it's essentially a table that is giving you a nice quick look of what's going on in terms of activities or courses. Okay, let me move on to the next one. So Leah, tell us a little bit more about expanding internationally, and this is a very interesting topic.
Indeed. Expanding into new markets is a huge opportunity for businesses and certification programs, but it comes with unique challenges. Handling different languages, different currencies, compliance regulations, and learner expectations. We can focus on the essential tools that enable you to expand globally with minimal effort, I promise. Practically, it covers two key aspects: localization, adapting content, currency, and flows to reach international learners, and geo-compliance, ensuring data security, tax regulations, and accessibility compliance when operating across multiple countries. Elisa.
Okay, so and I think Ian mentioned some of these as well. So for localization, you see Wiglot here in the list. So Wiglot is a great tool, and we have a native integration with them. What it does is that with a click of a button, you can instantly translate your content and your pages to the user's desired language, right? So that is great. Of course, we have the integrated AI assistant also to help you either with text or anything that you need to translate. Something else that we have is that in our course catalog, we have, of course, a search bar. And why is that important? It's important because you could categorize your courses based on languages. So for instance, you can clone a course and then offer it in English and then perhaps in Spanish, right? So you can have categories and users can very quickly switch and see what courses you offer in what language. Something else that we offer is a variety of currencies. You can essentially add any currency that you want as long as it's supported by your payment gateway. And of course, users will pay with their own currency. And we also have the feature of multiple schools. So LearnWorlds allows you to have multiple schools, multiple LearnWorlds academies under one email account. This is great because it allows you to just manage it a lot easier. And if what you could do is that, for instance, you can have one academy specifically for, I don't know, people in the UK, or another one for people in Italy, right? And it allows you to just localize it even further. And this also offers syncing options so that you can sync your courses if you're making changes here and there. And on the topic of geo-compliance, of course, LearnWorlds is GDPR compliant. So this is the General Data Protection Regulation. This is for any people in the European Union, or if you have customers from the European Union, with a click of a button, you can have your academy GDPR compliant so that you don't have to think about it. And this is what Ian mentioned. So tax management, we understand that that is very, very crucial. And especially if you have a broad audience, it's really difficult, you know, to manage tax. And we have a native integration with Stripe Tax and Quaderno that do exactly that. They manage the tax for you automatically based on where the user is located. And finally, over here for sorry, I have the wrong. And finally, here we have the accessibility option, where LearnWorlds has a native integration with Accessibility for a more inclusive learning. So essentially, you know, when going internationally, the regulation regarding accessibility can vary. But even if it is not mandatory, you can still provide this to your learner. So to just have your platform more accessible, you can, you know, integrate this native tool into your platform. And let's move on to the next part over here, tools to streamline the collaboration.
Exactly. Here we can see how you can have a seamless collaboration with your internal and external teams using essential tools and integrations. Practically, we will focus on aligning teams and aligning technology. Elisa, you're next.
Yes. So what do we have here? The first one, the custom admin roles. We know that sometimes, in most cases, you're not going to be alone. So that means that you have other colleagues, other admins that you need help with. So what Learners does here is that we have a tool called user roles. So what this does is that it allows you to create a user profile. Think of it as a colleague profile and specify the exact permissions that they will have in the platform. For instance, maybe you have an instructor, but you do not want to give them access to your financial information, right? So you can restrict it to, I don't know, courses, right? Not only that, but you can also specify and give them a share of the courses that they handle. This is also an option within LearnWorlds. Of course, you can align teams with live sessions. So in LearnWorlds, we saw earlier that you can connect Zoom, WebEx, and all of that, but you can actually connect multiple accounts at the same time. So if you have X amount of, I don't know, instructors, 3 instructors, for instance, they can connect their own Zoom account or WebEx account, and they can also host live sessions just to help align and, just to help you carry that out. And I mentioned that earlier, scheduled reporting, where if you want to keep your team updated, you can email them progress reports and so on, so that can be scheduled. And over here into the technology, we have a native integration with CRM tools like HubSpot to help you with managing customers. We have a variety of payment gateways I showed you earlier just to choose the right one for you. Of course, LearnWorlds is compatible with SCORMS. We know it's very popular. So if you're building your courses with SCORMS, or if you use SCORMS, you can absolutely add those into LearnWorlds. We did, of course, mention automations just to help you, automate daily tasks and do it a lot easier, a lot faster. And of course, for any of you that want to connect or you want a more customized approach, you could have access to our API and webhooks. And that essentially what it's going to do is that it's going to allow you to build your own powerful custom integrations tailored to your business. And of course, we also have a native integration with Zapier. So if you're using Zapier to automate processes, you can still use that with LearnWorlds. Okay, so I know we are running a little behind, so apologies, Dr. Shelly. So again, let me welcome you onto the webinar. So Dr. Shelly Newstead, happy to have you here. Tell us a little bit more about you and what it is that you do.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I was just busy answering a question, actually. So
yeah, that's an active group of people.
Been quite busy behind the scenes there.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you. For those of you who don't know what play work is, it's generally associated with working with children in their leisure time. So that might be things like summer camps, after school programs, play schemes, even things like zoos, hospitals, prisons, where children go and they have time to do their own thing, basically under the supervision of adults. And what we do is we teach the PARS model of play work practice. And the PARS model is something that I developed as part of my doctorate. And it basically teaches adults how to make decisions about when it's really necessary to get involved with children's free time and what they're doing, and when to just leave them alone. So we hear a lot about helicopter parenting, for example, and children being wrapped in cotton wool. And what this model does is it teaches adults to make really conscious decisions about, hang on, why am I getting involved here? Is it really necessary or not? We have 26 trainers around the world. We're a little different in that we offer externally accredited programs, and those are accredited at different levels. So our use of LearnWorlds is perhaps a little different to the way that other people might use it.
I see. So how did you manage your certification program in the beginning? Like, was it something specific or a way that you manage things?
No, we had a terribly sort of arcane system of cobbling together pieces of free software. Essentially, we were uploading Word files into Dropbox. We were setting up surveys on SurveyMonkey. We were doing all sorts of bits and pieces to try and stitch things together. We operate essentially as a social enterprise. So we haven't got a lot of money. So we were just sort of trying to literally make ends meet with different bits of software. But the trouble was, as we grew internationally, that just became very unmanageable. So I started to look for learning systems, which I knew nothing about, I have to say. I'm not a techie person. And so that was a whole new world to me.
Yeah, and I'm sure that system worked great in the beginning or for a while, but if you want to really scale, you definitely have to find different solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do work as, I mean, people involved in PARS talk about the PARS family, and we do work as an international community. We have a training team, we have an assessment team, we have an admin team, and everybody works together, even though a lot of those people have never met in real life. And so having everything in one place and having a system where everybody could play a part was really important to us. So one of the things you just mentioned, Eliza, was that thing about being able to distinguish user roles. And that's been really important to us, because the assessors can see the assessment work. The trainers can't see the assessment, which is important for our accreditation, because the trainers are not allowed to get involved in the assessments. And we can separate those two functions out very easily with LearnWorlds, for example, whilst everybody then can still play a part. So there's features like that that are really important in bringing that sort of international family together.
Yeah, absolutely. So you did mention some of the challenges that you faced, how, you know, this way of working wasn't easy when you went and had a broader audience. So what did you do to essentially overcome it and make it work for you?
Yeah, I mean, once we got onto LearnWorlds, we had to, as Ian said, do a whole new learning experience, really, for ourselves. But there were certain things that we, you know, really did sort of look at and really helped us. So tags are a fantastic opportunity to really keep track not only of what our learners are doing, but also where they're from and what they've achieved. So we use tags for certification, for example. We're not allowed to issue the attendance certificates. So we've switched the the certificate thing off on LearnWorlds. We just don't use it, which is great. We can ignore it. But then we use tags to keep track of who's passed which courses. And that's really helpful from our awarding body perspective, because then we can produce records of who's done what. So yeah, we've really, you know, adapted LearnWorlds to meet the needs of an external accrediting body, which has been really useful.
Wow, that's very interesting. So on your end, is there any advice that you would also like to give to anyone starting now with their certification program?
Ian mentioned trial and error earlier, and you'll see on my slide, that's a phrase that I've used as well. And we're very good in playwork at trial and error. We literally make things up as we go along quite a lot of the time. But actually, I would agree with Ian that if you're going to take on something like LearnWorlds, it's a really good idea to find somebody who knows more than you do about it. To give you some help and advice. So Leah has been my customer engagement person or support person, and I've had lots of, you know, lovely conversations with Leah, who's been able to point me in different directions. But we have now hired somebody with much more LearnWorlds experience to take on the management of the system, and I think that's really going to help us to scale even further, much quicker.
I see. Well, thank you very much for your input and for sharing your story and what you do with us. I'm going to move a little bit faster than I would like to, only because we're a little bit over time. So thank you very much, Dr. Shelly. And back to Leah. So Dr. Shelly mentioned that sometimes it may be a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're stepping into a new tool, right? So bear with us for a couple more slides. So here is how you can get equipped and essentially get all the information you need for LearnWorlds. So Leah, tell us more about this. You don't need to go into detail, but just tell us what we have over here.
Absolutely not. What Dr. Shelly mentioned is one of the key concerns that I hear almost every day. I'm running a successful online training. Do I need to be that tech savvy? That's why we have created 4 learning hubs. We're presenting them here, and I'm pretty sure that we will share the presentation where you will find the links. The first one we're presenting is the Accelerator program, where you can fast track your success. It is a framework. Then we're having Course Masters, learn from the best. This is our motto here. Our daily webinars, hands-on experience, practical advices, daily webinars. And then we have our own academy. If you want to master on how to use the platform and its advanced functionalities, this is the place to be. And Elisa, I believe you have something special for us today, right?
Yes, but before we move into that, I wanted to mention that all of these are free, guys. So you can click on the links and add, enroll into these platforms and to these courses. They are all free. Okay, so the last thing, and I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but we have a very special offer for all of you guys that just enrolled into the webinar. So we have a limited offer for all of our new customers. You can use the discount code certified15 off to get 50% off for 6 months. So you can save up to $229. And this is valid until March 40th. So save this. Of course, again, we're going to share the deck with you, so you will get the code. This is going to be eligible for Pro Plans and Learning Center, and you're going to get 15% off for 6 months. So keep that in mind. The code is certified15 off. Okay, so I think we are at the end of our presentation. So thank you all very much for joining in. Thank you to our speakers, Leah, Ian, and Dr. Shelly. Thank you very much for your input. You are going to get the recordings and the deck in your email tomorrow, I believe. So keep an eye out on your inbox. So thank you very much for joining in, and see you next time, perhaps. Bye.